Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be letting go of the past. I've got a really good email here from a guy who found my work about 6 months ago after the end of his relationship. And what I liked about his email and why I wanted to go through it today was that he did a really good job of taking a step back after the end of his relationship, analyzing what happened, where he went wrong, learning the things in my book, and seeing how it applied in his own life. And then he's taking corrective action. He had an employment situation that wasn't great. He felt like he was being taken advantage of. He said he was working a ton of overtime but not getting compensated for it. And so prior to his breakup, he's bringing this stuff home every night, the fact that he's not happy, and in essence whining to his girlfriend. And so he says what happened was he started acting needy, he became fearful, she started testing the shit out of him, and he basically turned himself into a doormat. And then so she moved on pretty quickly after the end of their breakup, and obviously he was thinking, what the hell just happened? So that led him to finding my work, and so he's now lost 30 pounds, and he's just got a complete different attitude compared to where he was. He's got a new job, new attitude, he's lost weight, and he's also detoxified his life and all of his relationships, not only his intimate relationships, but friendships and people that were in his life that just simply weren't supportive and helping him and encouraging him to reach his full potential. So I have a quote that I wrote on this topic, and then we're going to go through his email and see what he focused on to get his life turned around and get himself back to a place where he is now, which he's happy. He's searching, he's happy being single, and he's enjoying his life. He doesn't feel any kind of pressure to jump into another relationship, but just simply to enjoy his life. And because I know a lot of people that watch my videos, men and women both, they come to me because a relationship had ended, and that's a really tough thing to let go, is because your whole identity becomes associated with being with that person. And so for like every year that you're with somebody, the average person takes 3 to 6 months to overcome that. So if you're like in a 5-year relationship and that ended, you're looking at like a year and a half before you really get to the point where you feel really good about yourself and you have a sense of peace of what happened, and the fact that, because when you're with somebody for 5 years, I mean, everything you do is with that person, and then all of a sudden then they're gone for your life. It's tough to move past that. It's more of an art than a science. So the quote that I wrote says, letting go of the past so you can move on in life is more of an art than a science. It would be nice if we could turn off our negative emotions and feelings so we would not have to experience them. But experiencing pain is how we learn from our mistakes and become better versions of ourselves. We must feel our pain in order to learn from it, heal it, and overcome it. It is the collective accumulation of life experience along our journey that acts like the tools and instruments of life that refine, polish, and perfect us, just like pressure and heat perfect a diamond. So let's go through his email. He says, "Hi Corey, I just wanted to say thank you. I found your stuff after my ex-girlfriend dumped me 6 months ago. She was, and to this day still is, the woman with whom I had the deepest connection so far, so you can imagine how devastated I was." Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Those are the type of women, or the type of, if you're a woman, those are the type of relationships when you're with somebody that you're that into and they're that into you as well, and they end. It's like when your emotions are really engaged, they're really hard to get past and get over with. Whereas if you're just dating somebody and you really weren't that crazy about them, it's a lot easier. He says, back then, I was stuck in a miserable job as a consultant where I wasn't treated well, and I had to work massive amounts of overtime without any compensation. Remember, no one will ever do or say anything to you that you don't invite them to do. And when you recognize that your job situation sucks, and there's no way that where you're working now can offer you what you really need in order to be happy and fulfilled in a job, you need to be looking for another job to better your situation, instead of just kind of going along with it, which is what most people typically do, and they just hope it's going to get better, but it never does because it sucks. You can't put your best effort into something that sucks and you're not that into. He says, although I tried my best to work out in the hotel rooms at nights, I quickly gained 20 pounds, felt like shit, and soon started acting the same, taking my job problems home to her. So it sounds like you kind of made her your therapist or your mommy. Definitely not. Because you go home and you're full of fear and you're not happy, and a woman's happy to listen to you for a while, but when it goes on month after month after month, and you don't do anything to help yourself, that's going to cause her to not trust your masculine core or feel safe and comfortable with you. Women like guys that have ambition. You know, they come home and they're upset about something, but the alpha male does something about it. He doesn't continue to come home month after month and bitch about the same thing every night and then not do anything to help himself. If you want a woman to lose respect for you, come home every night and bitch about the fact that you hate your job and then never do anything about it. He says, I put most of my scarce time into finding a new gig, which I succeeded in after 2 months, but it was too late. The attraction my then girlfriend felt for me obviously had dropped to the very bottom, as I had adopted needy and insecure behavior. Never a good thing. One of the worst experiences I ever had was when this girl who had idolized me when we met and who I helped getting through a really fucked up eating disorder started testing me and seeing how much of a doormat I could be before dumping me. So it sounds like you were compliant with a doormat request. It felt like the world was ending, since during that time I became so needy and fearful that all I wanted was to be with her forever, get a steady job at a big company, and go happily ever after, ASAP. Somehow, that's what I always assumed to be the correct way of life when you're approaching 30, and I'm currently 29 years old. It was a pure scarcity mindset. That's typically what society beats into everybody's head. By the time you're 30, you got to be married and have kids and the mortgage and the whole 9 yards. Right after she broke up with me, I started my new job. I used all of my now free time to reestablish my strict workout routine and quickly lost 30 pounds. Notice how he got focused and boom, made something happen. Didn't have any story, oh, I'm in hotel rooms, I did this, I did that, oh, there's no access to a gym. He found a way to make it happen. You either find a way or you find a way out. He says, now I look ripped and I'm increasingly aware of getting noticed for that. Working out initially was part of a rough plan to become the person I was when my ex and I had met, to re-attract her again, obviously. But as time and a few dates with her went by, it became clearer and clearer that this was out of the question. So Elvis had obviously already left the building at that point, and she was just going through the motions. She recently started a new relationship, which was a heavy punch for me, because how could she move on so quickly when all that was on my mind was still her? Of course, having read your stuff, I know the answer. On the weekends, I would drink heavily and get the occasional one-night stand, but I just did not manage to establish any real connection with a woman. On top of that, when I was hungover, I felt miserable, missed her, and asked myself, what am I doing with my time? So I decided to cut out the heavy drinking. That's a good, healthy choice. The idea is if you're going to drink and you're going to eat chocolate cake or crap or whatever, the idea is no more than 20% of the time. So like on a 30-day month, you're talking like 6 days where you can eat that kind of crap. And the rest of the time, you want to try to be healthy. So 80% of the time, you're doing the right thing. You're going to the gym, you're eating a clean, healthy, alkaline-type diet, plenty of veggies, those kinds of things. And then on the weekends, you want to cut loose, do your junk food, your alcohol, whatever it happens to be. It's just everything in moderation. He says, I made the conscious decision to only care about myself, let myself feel the pain, but then do everything that has to be done to get over her and gain control of my life again, since being mopey and pitying myself is far from the standard I've always set for myself. That's a great mindset. Notice what he focused on there. He said, I let myself feel the pain, because you got to feel it to heal it. I've talked about this many times in videos. It's like if you watch children and how they experience pain, they're with it, they feel it, they cry, they scream, whatever, they express their anger, and then 5 minutes later they're happy and they're smiling again. But us adults, we just kind of try to stuff all that stuff down. Like what he was doing was heavy drinking to kind of cover it up instead of feeling it. And so we put all that stuff aside stopped the drinking and started taking care of his body and just focusing on being present with his negative emotions and feelings. Because when you really are authentic and present with your feelings and your emotions, they dissolve and you're able to move past them and not let them hijack you all the time, because what you resist will persist. He says, I also decided to refrain from dating or meeting other women for a time because I didn't want to bother others with my pain and misery and use them as a distraction. That's smart. If you felt like you needed to take the time to do it, that's smart to do that. I just wanted a clean, new start, and my overall mission was and is to constantly improve myself and be the best man that I can be. That's perfect. Good job. When I discovered the things you teach and bought your ebook, I managed to slowly understand what happened, how attraction works, and with my ex and I fell in love and why she dumped me. When I recently started getting back in the game, I used many of your principles successfully, but the main thing I want to thank you for is the clarity and positivity of your overall message. Be a man, take control of your life, live up to your potential, take care of your body, and take action. Like I say all the time, you got to participate in your own rescue. Every time I receive your newsletter, I am motivated by the energy I draw from it. It's like having a good friend patting you on the back and telling you that you will make it, and I'm very thankful for that. Well, you're welcome. Thanks for applying that. Thanks for making yourself awesome. He says, so where am I now? Like I said, my workout routine shows results and the ladies notice. I'm eating clean and taking care of my health, so I feel awake and energized constantly. In the short time that I have been working at my new job, I've made a great impression on my boss who wants to start a new business with me. When you're happy, when you're taking care of yourself, when you're achieving, when you're working at something you really like, notice he changed his job, got something better, he's passionate about it, he's happy, he's eating a healthy diet, his mind is clear, he's focused, he's not got brain fucking fog. And because he's happy, because he's diligent, one of the people he works with, who happens to be his boss, says, hey, let's start a company outside of what we're doing. Let's start a little side business. That's what happens. People recognize other alphas, and you get approached. You get other business opportunity. That's why it's so important to do something you really love and you really enjoy, and keep searching until you find it. It's like what Maya Angelou said, don't do things for money. Do things that you love and you have a passion for them, and get to do them so well that people can't take their eyes off you. And that's what happened here. He got to doing his work so well that his boss said, hey, why don't we start a company together? He says, I've accepted the offer and I'm prepared to take the risk and maybe fail, since I am extremely excited about the opportunity. I will decline a job offer from a major company for a well-paid position with leadership duties to pursue this startup idea. I think it's great, man. A year ago, this would have been unthinkable, since I would have never traded in security for freedom back then. However, today I believe in my abilities and decided to not ever hold myself back because of fear. Of course, I fear rejection and failure in business or with women, but I vowed to do it anyway. Because if it works out, I'll be successful, and if it doesn't, the world won't stop turning. Yep. We're not really that important in the big scheme of things. So don't take yourself so damn seriously. First and foremost, I want to be in control of my life. I've stopped feeling guilty about the things I did wrong with my ex, and came to the realization that since I was happy when I met her while she was miserable, and it was the other way around when she dumped me, maybe I'm better off without her anyway. Isn't that interesting? When you get into a peaceful, relaxed, content place, you're healthy, you got your shit together, now you can look back and really get some clarity and realize, you know what? As fun as that situation was with her, I'm better off. Because now you've taken better care of yourself, and like attracts like. The idea is to find somebody that's in the same place as you are, or even better, instead of somebody that you're kind of dragging along, so to speak. He says, I wouldn't want her back because I wouldn't want to prevent me or her from growing and improving ourselves. I decided to let go of the past, and I look forward to the future because I can do what I want. I've gotten rid of all the toxic people and naysayers, no matter how long I've known them or whether they're friends or family, and I only surround myself with ambitious and positive people who are there for me and vice versa. It's like one of the things that Tony Robbins says. The quality of your life is in direct proportion to the quality of the people who you consistently spend your time with. So now he's taking care of all the people that are around him all the time. The toxic ones, they're fucking out of there. Lately, I've been dating casually and have realized in the process that I am currently not even looking for a relationship because I am happy and fulfilled with myself and the things that go on in my life. He's enjoying his life. So that's where you want to be. When you're in that place, when you're just enjoying your life, you're enjoying being single, you're enjoying dating, you're enjoying meeting new people, you're enjoying having new adventures, you're enjoying your career, that's when it happens. That's when somebody amazing just kind of drops right in your lap effortlessly. They're ready for you and you're ready for them, and it's just beautiful. He says, your article, Not Looking for a Relationship, just came out at the right time for me. Thank you, Corey. You've been a great inspiration for me, and I think you're helping a lot of people. Best wishes from Austria. Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that great success story and what you've been focusing on, because there's other men and women out there that are in the same place, maybe aren't as far along as in their journey of recovering from that bad breakup, but just the fact that 6 months ago you were in a really difficult situation, and now 6 months later you're enjoying being single, you're enjoying dating, you're enjoying taking care of yourself. Business opportunities are coming your way because you're obviously enthusiastic about what you're doing. And other people are noticing that and recognizing that, and that's why you're getting these great opportunities coming your way. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or email coaching session. You can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the Products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions for booking whichever option works best for you. And I will talk to you soon.